Welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, or Left Turn Central, here joined by co host Brandon Bull Davis and co host Ben Miller. Fellas, we're here today to give our 2027 silly season predictions. We gave our grades a couple weeks ago, and now it's time to predict the full NASCAR roster for the 2027 season. Not this season, but next season. Maybe just a wee bit early. That's the beauty of it because we get to look about this time next year. We get to look back and see just how wonderful this list aged. So before we get into all of that, just want to ask you guys how you're doing, starting with Bull.
Yeah, man. Rough weekend with football wise. Kentucky got spanked by Vandy. Bengals lost another tough one. Just took some family Christmas pictures. So all in all, not bad. How about you, Ben?
Yeah. I mean, overall, it was a good weekend. I mean, like you said, Kentucky lost, absolutely got destroyed by Vanderbilt, and of course, the Bengals lost yet another game. But outside of that, it was a pretty chill weekend. Colton, what about you?
Hey, let's go Commodores. I need to get that T-shirt. Yeah, it's a pretty good weekend. Just work, a lot of work and more work, which is kind of the opposite because the last couple months have been no work and less work and just YouTube. So just adjusting to all of that. But I'm excited because I did take some time to write down these lists. I had a lot of different stuff. We've revealed a little bit of our lists to each other. So uh, it'll be interesting to see what all is revealed. But let's start with Rick Ware Racing, which is pretty easy. I made the mistake, and I was thankfully corrected in having thought that they would have to have an actual driver in the car because they needed to keep their charter. They don't have to actually keep their charter. So Cody Ware will remain in the 51 for me.
Yeah, I got Cody Ware staying in the 51 as well. Keeping that one in the family, that one's pretty simple to me.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think Cody Ware is going to stay in the 51. I mean, even though it was a rough 2025 season, I mean, he's obviously racing for his dad, and yeah, I feel like they're going to continue. They're going to continue that relationship, and yeah, I got Cody Ware in the 51.
Moving on down to another Nepo baby, Cole Custer in the 41. Which is like he's actually talented, but when you get to the Cup Series, he's not quite there yet. Driving for good old HAAS. There will be a Chevy car next year. Probably stay a Chevy that year and probably keep Cole Custer in that 41 because Haas has one dream is to have a good F1 team. That's not going to happen. So his second dream is to have Cole Custer drive in the Cup Series, and I think that stays through 2027.
So I actually got a change here. I got Haas Factory not even fielding a car in 2027. Putting that money elsewhere, like you mentioned, he wants a good F1 team. And there's a team that we're going to talk about a little later that is on the uprise and definitely wants a third charter.
Okay.
Interesting.
Might know where you're going with that one.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I feel like Cole Custer is going to stay in the number 41 car. I mean, obviously, it was a rough 2025 season. I mean, the speed was not there a lot at these intermediate tracks and plus the road courses. But however, he did show speed at the super speedways, and I feel like this team they're going to get better. It's just going to take time. I mean, obviously, it was a new team, but yeah, I'm not giving up on Custer. I feel like he's a Cup driver and he's here to stay.
Yeah, I don't doubt that Haas has the funds. It's just the inability to on his own make a competitive team. I think mostly because of lack of care. So, and I think to Cole Custer's credit, I think if he had actual competitive equipment, he could have had a decent year, but he just doesn't quite have that. So I don't want to fully put it on him, even though I called him a nepo baby. But moving on down to yeah, not a nepo baby, Ricky Stenhouse. He's got talent. Just race by race basis, whether it comes up or not. That also goes to the Hyak or Hawktua Motorsports, clan and what they have, what they're giving him. But I still have him staying the 47. I think that's pretty well a match made in heaven. I don't see him getting an upgrade offer from anybody, and I don't see him getting kicked out of that ride because there's 6 tracks he can legitimately win at a year, and he gets good finishes at other tracks from time to time as well.
Yeah, I got Ricky Stenhouse also staying in Hyak. That's his ride until he doesn't want it anymore.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at Hyak Motorsports. I mean, It was a solid start to the season, though, but I feel like that's going to be his ride until he wants to retire. And of course, he continues to show flashes at the super speedways, and I think that's going to continue with this group. So yeah, Stenhouse, he's here to stay.
But moving on to front row, where we got Noah Gragson, Todd Gillen, and Zane Smith. Will that stay the same though? Well,
so I'm going to keep this one. Go ahead and reveal. I got Zane Smith and Todd Gillen staying. But I do have Noah Gragson getting changed for a guy that we talked about, gets Colton's blood pressure up a little bit. Austin Hendrick moving to the 4 car to replace Noah Gragson. His performance last year, not very good. We talked about that. Don't need to go into that again. Noah Gragson also talked about his performance, dropped tremendously. So I have them both losing their rides and Hendrick recovering in the 4 car.
Interesting. Yeah, for my front row lineup, I feel like Todd Gillen and Zane Smith are going to be staying where they're currently at. I mean, Gillen, he's had a rough year, but I mean, even though he showed flashes, I still feel like he's a good driver still, and he's going to stay at Front Row Motorsports in the 34. And Zane Smith, I mean, best front row driver this year. I feel like he's got a bright future ahead of him, so I feel like he's going to continue to stay. And I actually have Lane Riggs taking over the 4 car for Noah Gragson. I mean, he had a good truck season. I mean, he's always competitive, competing for wins. And he was one of those guys that can compete with Corey Heim. But yeah, a little slip up there. Yeah, I feel like eventually Lane Riggs, his talent's going to pay off. And eventually he's going to get promoted to Front Row Motorsports. And yeah, I feel like in a way, I feel like he might be ready for Cup. But yeah, that's where I stand with Front Row Motorsports.
I mean, Ben, you technically didn't lie by saying Lane Riggs can compete with Cody Ware.
I don't doubt he can.
That is true, yeah.
The question is, can Cody Ware compete with Lane Riggs? But I also have Lane Riggs actually taking the 4 car. Front Row's kind of got this habit of getting a driver in their system in the Truck Series and then just bringing him straight up to Cup with no Xfinity experience. They did that with Todd Gillen. Zane Smith went to Spire, but still the same deal where he was at Front Row, ended up in the Cup Series, and now competing well for Front Row. So I think they keep those 2 guys, and they just add another one in what is a kind of an interestingly weird talent pool they have there. Like, I think Todd Gillen and Zane Smith are 2 talented enough drivers, and I think Lane Riggs can be as well. Will it take him like 3 years to get to that point? Yes, but still, I think he'll get there. And he will drive the 4 next year because Noah Gragson apparently lost all his talent. I don't know where that went. I guess we'll have to find it in the Xfinity or Truck Series, wherever he lands in 2027, or just prove us wrong this year. And there's our first miss on the board. That'd be great. I love Noah Gragson. I got no beef. Moving on to Kaulig, Ty Dillon and AJ Allmendinger, I believe, is the confirmed. I don't know if Ty Dillon's been officially confirmed, but it sounds like he's confirmed to be in that car next year. Rumors circulating around Dodge potentially making the jump. I'm not sure they can legally make the jump to 2027. I know they have to get their car approved at a certain point, but it is very far out. So maybe that deadline has not quite passed yet. But Bull, what do you think?
So I actually went the route of them going to Dodge. So with that case, driving the 16 car, I got them going out and getting a big name driver by the name of Alex Bowman to start that Dodge Cup adventure off strong. Also, I know this was one that kind of he's going to get Colton's blood pressure up again. I got Daniel Dye driving the 10 car solely based on money and funding. I mean, they did the Truck Series announcement at his dad's Dodge dealership. So I have him moving into the 10 car, replacing Ty Dillon.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, my colleague lineup, starting off with Ty Dillon, I feel like he's going to stay in the 10 car. I mean, he obviously showed flashes this year, just not to go much into detail, but I feel like he's going to bring, he's actually going to bring some sponsorship with him in 2026. So I feel like that's going to be beneficial for him in years to come. And I actually got AJ Allmendinger in the 16 still. I mean, he showed some flashes every once in a while during the season, but I feel like that's his ride until he decides to quit racing. So yeah, that's where I stand with Kaulig Racing.
Yeah. Listen, Bull. I fully understand your standpoint, and this is not a comment on necessarily your take. This is more a comment if anybody at Dodge, Kaulig, or the Dye family thinks this is a legitimate option. He needs to get his stats up. He drove for Kaulig last year, finished 20th in the points in the Xfinity Series, had just 8 top 10s and an average finish of 19.9. In what universe? Riley Herbst is better than that. Riley Herbst is better than that. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Herbst, don't know if he won, but I know he got close to winning a couple times and was a playoff driver. Guy's 21 years old. He has time to figure it out, but at the age of 23, we want to just throw him into the Cup Series. I get it. Money. Again, not blaming you for having that take, Bull. I know that money that Dye has his hands all over this team. I just can't justify it if Dodge is actually considering that.
If you don't like that one, you're not going to like the next one either.
Yeah.
Oh, the next one. Oh boy. Well, I didn't give my roster. Let me give that really quick. I had to go yell at Bull for his roster first. In the 10, and it really, you could switch it around, but in the 10, I have Alex Bowman. I see the correlation there. I feel like Hendrick's kind of done with Bowman. We'll see who replaces him here pretty soon. I think they just have their eyes on a different prospect for next year. However, I think Bowman, this is the perfect spot for him to prove them all wrong. If Dodge can, I mean, if history serves, Joe Gibbs is always second fiddle to Hendrick at Chevy. You know, they go to Toyota and now they are a dynasty. You know, they're not quite the second fiddle that like Trackhouse or Chip Ganassi were, but they were still definitely a step behind the Hendrick cars. What jumping to Toyota is what built them into to such a legendary program. This very well same thing could happen for Kaulig. Definitely comparing apples to oranges here, but if that were to happen and Alex Bowman be the flagship driver, I would love it. I mean, this is a guy that, William Byron was young, but Alex Bowman was better than William Byron until the injuries, and was the second best driver at Hendrick. And if you look at last season, if Hendrick doesn't decide to do a weird, the weight thing, Joey Logano isn't a champion, which I love the most, but also Alex Bowman is probably a Final Four driver. So it's so fast. And there's so many ifs with Alex Bowman. So, it's one of those deals, but his stats are comparable to Tyler Reddick, even with all this weight against him. And we can talk about that another day. I'd just be really excited to see him be the lead driver, not have a team actively working against him for once in his career. And I think Kaulig is just a place for that. And I have Dinger in the 16 because I think he has that as long as he wants it. I think driving for Dodge again would kind of revive if Dinger's getting old of the Cup Series. So I think he's doing the best he can in that equipment still, getting the most out of it, even at his ripe age, and he can keep doing it. But let's move on to Legacy because Bull's got something to say here. I have them staying at 2 cars because I just can't really figure out who's going to be in that third, and maybe it's my naivety of money drivers. But and just not wanting to put a money driver in that whatever car number it's going to be, but I just have that car being part-time, and then I have Eric Jones and John Hernichuk keeping their rides, keeping that Legacy Motor Club consistent.
So we already know they've got the third charter for the 2027. They've
Correct.
got the Rick Ware charter that currently RFK has.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them fielding that third charter with a current Toyota Xfinity driver by the name of William Sawalich.
William Sawalich. The sandwich? Wow.
I told you if you didn't like
he
that.
He doesn't have that much money. There's no way he has that much money.
Yeah. Man, that's
no way. I'm looking into it, but there's no way he's got that much money. I refuse to believe it.
He came on at the end of the season.
Well, he's an ARCA legend in NASCAR 25. Good lord.
Exactly, yeah.
That dude is impossible to pass in the ARCA series. He came on.
Yeah, that guy, he definitely needs more time to develop before he's ready for Cup.
He's 8. He's going to be 19.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he's really young too.
I will agree. He came on at the end of the season, and it was a completely unfair of me to expect an 18-year-old to perform well, but he's also driving in Joe Gibbs equipment, and I watched Ty Gibbs do it a couple years ago. So,
well, he's going to have another year of Xfinity Series this year, get another year of experience, and I think they're wanting him. He's going to end up going to Joe Gibbs and Cup, but he's going to get that Cup experience somewhere.
Interesting.
He's going to end up at, oh my God.
All right. Just looking at my lineup right here for Legacy Motor Club. I got Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek both staying. I mean, I feel like both these guys, they've improved their on-track performance. They showed flashes throughout the season, and I feel like they're going to get better as years to come. So I feel like those two guys are going to stay where they're at. But with that third charter, though, I think that Jesse Love is going to be that third driver. I feel like he's going to be full-time in 2027. I mean, Jimmy Johnson mentioned it on his podcast that he was one of Jesse Love was one of the drivers that he was really high on. I mean, Love is obviously one of the best up-and-coming stars. I mean, he's impressed since ARCA. I mean, he's had success with Toyota in the past. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job at RCR and Xfinity, winning races, running consistently, and of course, winning the championship. So, that is my driver lineup for Legacy.
I like that. I like that a lot. Honestly, if I had that context of Jimmy Johnson talking about him, I might have gone that route as well. And Bull, I'll be honest, I was not familiar with Mr. Sandwich's game. He did turn it around in the second half of the season. I honestly thought he was older than 18, so I want to apologize. You got to understand with Xfinity and trucks, I kind of am just talking out of my ass at times. So
it's all right. I can handle it.
We're getting to a point where I need to just, actually lock in and do some research before I make, baseless takes like, some other people out there in the world. Mr. Swalich, if he continues the improvement, I still don't think he's necessarily Cup ready, but who is nowadays? So I don't hate that. And I would love Jesse Love to end up in that third ride. I like that. I think that's the best of all worlds. It's a young driver who I think is going to develop. I do have him. I do think he will be full-time in the Cup Series. He's a champion in the Xfinity Series. I think he will only grow in the Xfinity Series next season. So long as that holds, I think he will be in the Cup Series. But we'll get to him a little bit later. Let's go on to Spire, who is a 3-car team. And I have just Michael McDowell sticking with the team in 2027. I have Hocevar out. We'll see where he ends up. And I have Austin Hill in the 77. Spire, and I know the main reason is because I watched the Rising documentary, which is an outstanding documentary. Go watch it. It is great. And I can tell that Spire's owner, I can't think of his name at the time, at this moment, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit who is driving his cars. He just wants them to go out there and give it their all. And Austin Hill, for better or for worse, will do that. And he has funding, more funding than Carson Hocevar even. Not as much talent as Carson Hocevar, of course, but he will still drive like crazy. And Austin Hill is definitely his sponsors and himself want to be in the Cup Series. So I think that's a natural fit. I just feel like it's a natural fit in that 77 for Hill. I think that's the only place he's really going to get it, because I don't know if him and Richard Childress are as close. I feel like they would have gotten him in the Cup Series by now if they were really that close. I don't know. Maybe Childress just doesn't have the money for that, but it's a fully funded car with Bennett and whatever other sponsors Hill has amassed. So, And then in the 7, I have Kyle Busch. I think, again, I flirted with the idea of Hocevar and Busch being on the same team, but I don't know. I don't know how that would work. That would be, let's get a documentary crew on that, because that would be fun. But I mean, Kyle Busch in his early years definitely fits the kind of driver that Spire would love to have. And I think Spire shows a lot more growth, whereas Richard Childress just is sometimes, but mostly. And I think Kyle Busch is looking to maybe right some of the wrongs that happened in the 8. He's going to do that in the 7 in 2027.
So I got Daniel Suarez. He's got a 1-year deal. I got him re-signing with Spire. I got Michael McDowell still staying in 71, and I have Rajah Caruth in the 77 coming up to drive for replacing Carson Hocevar.
I hope so, but I am unfortunately on the side of let's give Caruth maybe a little bit more time.
Yeah. I mean, that would be cool to see for sure. But yeah, my Spire lineup, I think Kyle Busch will go to Spire Motorsports in the 71. I mean, contract expires with RCR at the end of 2026. I mean, RCR has failed Kyle Busch the last 2 seasons, and I just don't feel like I just don't see that he's going to get extended. And I feel like he's going to take over for Michael McDowell. I feel like there is a possibility that he might retire and Busch will replace him. I mean, Spire will. I just have this feeling Spire is going to bring in a veteran driver. I feel like they're going to continue to grow as an organization, and Kyle Busch has a great relationship with Spire with their Truck Series program. I mean, he's won a couple races in the Truck Series for them, and then Carson Hocevar, I think he's going to stay in the 77. I mean, obviously he's shown flashes, and I feel like that first win is not too far away. I feel like he's going to continue to develop in years to come with Spire. And like I said, that first win eventually is going to come. And then I think Daniel Suarez will stay in the number 7 for another season. I mean, obviously he brings sponsorship. He's an 8-year veteran in the Cup Series. He's proven that he can win races. And I just with the sponsorship, I feel like that's going to be beneficial to him to sign an extension with Spire. And that is my driver lineup.
I agree that Carson Hocevar will get his first win. It's on the cusp. He will get there next year. But I also think that win is going to springboard him into his next ride. I think there's too much love for Carson Hocevar at a certain team that is not going to go unnoticed next season. And I'll get into all of that in a little bit. But let's move along to RFK is now the next team to talk about. And I actually have the 60 team closing down as a whole. I have Brad Keselowski hanging it up, and I have Ryan Preece slotting into the 6 car. I think maybe if there's another year without a win at RFK, that kind of helps because they don't own the charter, so they might just see the benefits of downsizing back to 2 and focusing on those 2 cars. So I have Buescher staying in the 17. There's a world where maybe he gets an upgrade, but I just didn't see it. I think RFK can be just as good as a Penske or just as good as any of the other ones I've talked about. They just need to find it. And I think maybe downsizing to 2 teams is that move. But yeah, what do you guys think?
So I mentioned Stewart Haas selling their charter. I actually have it going to the 60 RFK. Ryan Preece staying in the 60 with that charter. I have Chris Buescher staying, but I do have Brad Keselowski hanging it up. And a guy you all mentioned earlier, Lane Riggs, slotting in there to replace Brad in the 6 car.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I like that. All right. My driver lineup for RFK. I think Ryan Preece is going to take over the 6 car. I feel like Brad Keselowski, just like you guys mentioned, is going to hang it up. And I feel like Preece, he's going to have a solid future with RFK. I mean, had a solid first year. I feel like he's going to get better in years to come with the team. And I feel like he's going to be competing for some wins next year and years to come. And then Chris Buescher, I mean, obviously I got him staying in the number 17. I feel like he's going to sign a multi-year extension in 2026. He's been strong and consistent the last few years, and I feel like he's going to get back to victory lane in the future. And I feel like he's going to take over that role as the number 1 driver at RFK. But that is my driver lineup. I just don't see Brad Keselowski coming back after 2026, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. So, Bull, what's the connection that you see Lane to RFK? Like, I see Lane Riggs as a Cup Series driver, so I don't question that part of it. But why do you think he goes to RFK and not front row?
I just see him staying with Ford, and then really it's that, and I think he deserves a good ride. I think he's shown his talents in the trucks. And I think that RFK can provide a better car for Riggs than Front Row can.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I agree with you in that sentiment. I just see the natural progression from front row to front row as opposed to going straight to RFK as maybe a more likely option, but difference
And
of
then
opinion.
you have Brad there still too, so they still have that veteran driver that can kind of teach the ways.
Wait, did you had Brad still in the 6?
No, it was just, like he's still in the ownership group, so
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah.
still can kind of give that mentorship with the veteran driver with experience.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue Chris Buescher might be one of the best guys to learn from in the Cup Series. I mean, somebody who knows how to get the most out of his equipment that's handed to him as well. So having both of those guys is a great deal. Yeah, I see it. I'm talked into it. Let's move on to RCR, who has had Austin Dillon in the 3 for way too long, and Kyle Busch in the 8 for an unfortunate amount of time. I have that changing. I don't have Austin Dillon leaving the 3. Don't worry. I can never foresee when that man will retire. And I do not have Kyle Busch in the 8, though. I'll save it because I want to hear what you all see happening.
So I actually have both drivers being replaced. There's already speculation of Austin Dillon moving into the ownership group and doing that. So I actually have Austin Hill moving into that 3 car and replacing Austin Dillon. And I don't have Kyle Busch in the 8 either. I actually have Jesse Love. So basically, I have the Xfinity team moving up. They've already got that RCR Chevy connection. And I think they've been trying to get Hill into Cup Series for a while. I do think our Richard Childers and Hill do have a good relationship. There was a big controversy last year with one of the other RCR Xfinity drivers, and he basically sided with Hill. So I do think they have a good relationship, and I think both of them move up to the Cup Series.
Okay.
I think it's a weird take, but I also think Kyle Busch steps away after the last couple of years he's had, and then goes racing with his son.
I kind of could see that as well. I kind of see that. I don't want to necessarily bring that in the universe, but I do kind of see that happening as well. I had a thought of that. But I actually have Jesse Love slotting into that 8. Again, I just don't know. I do remember there being rumblings of Dillon going into ownership, so maybe that does end up happening, and kumbaya if it does. But I have Jesse Love slotting into that 8 because I see the commitment that Richard Childress has to him. He saw the talent. I think Childress wants to keep that talent in house. And I think he knows that he has to bring him into Cup next year one way or another. So I think even if Kyle Busch were to miraculously stay in the 8 car, I think they might open up the 33 for Jesse Love or Dillon officially go into ownership for that. But also I could see the Austin Hill, if he doesn't end up actually going to Spire, making an interesting situation there. It's kind of like, picking between the sons there for Richard, but will he pick the ultra talented one with the championship future, or will he go with the one that's got a little more money to his name? Find out next season.
And Austin Hill is the perfect driver for that number 3 car.
Yeah,
true. I don't think any driver is perfect for the number 3 car other than Dale Earnhardt, but I digress.
But we're not going to get rid of the 3. It's never going anywhere. And Austin Hill's attitude and demeanor is perfect for that.
Should have never come back. Should be the 33 or 27 or 29. I don't care. It just shouldn't be the 3. Anywho, family feuds aside, Trackhouse, we got. Oh, did you? Sorry, Ben.
Oh no, you're good. I was going to say I didn't give my predictions. Yeah, I think Austin Dillon is going to stay in the 3 car. I mean. I was kind of going back and forth. I mean, obviously there is rumors going around that he might be going into management at RCR, but in a way, I do feel like he's gonna keep his seat, continuing to drive the 3 car. I mean, he's won a race the last 2 years, obviously at Richmond, and Austin Hill. I think that he's going to take over the 8 when Kyle Busch goes over to Spire Motorsports. I mean, I feel like I think it's about time that Austin Hill gets what he deserves and. To get to get a good Cup ride. I mean, I feel like if he's there full time, he's going to show a lot of potential, and I feel like he's got the talent. And I think be in the number 8 in 2027. But that's my lineup.
All right. Well, Trackhouse, I actually have staying exactly the same as they are going into 2026. I have Ross Chastain still in the 1. I got SVG staying in the 97, and I got Connor Zillage staying in the 88. I think that's a pretty cut clean. Ross Chastain's not going anywhere unless he gets an upgrade, and I don't think SVG is going to get an upgrade. And I think Connor Zillage is happy at Trackhouse, but who knows? Maybe something would pop up. But I think most of the upgrades are looking for more experienced drivers at this point. So also Zillage, I think, is confirmed to 2027 anyway. So I don't know why I went down that spiel. But Bull, what do you think?
I completely agree. I got Trackhouse remaining the same.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got Trackhouse remaining the same. I feel like these 3 guys are not going to go anywhere. I mean, Zillage obviously has a bright future coming off a successful Xfinity season. I feel like Ross Chastain, he's going to continue to win races for the organization, and SVG, he's going to continue to impress on the road courses, and he's going to try to improve on the ovals going into 26. And I feel like he's definitely going to get better. So that's my lineup.
All right. Now we're getting into a little murkier waters for me. Bubba Wallace is going to stick in the 23. I'm pretty confident in that. However, I do not have Tyler Reddick in the 45. I have Corey Heim making the jump to the 45 team. And I think that essentially, don't know what it is. I just feel like there's something going on in that 45 camp that is more than meets the eye. I don't think Reddick's very keen to all the lawsuit stuff and the lack thereof a charter. Well, I guess I currently technically have a charter, but like just all of that mess, I feel like it's kind of clouding up that 45 team and whatnot. And I think he's honestly going to get a better offer. So why not take that better offer and go somewhere that is not so murky as 2311. So I got Reddick moving on. I'll talk about him down the road. I have Corey Heim after a full-time season in the Xfinity Series. He's got a full-time season, right?
I actually have not heard what his plans are for 2026. I don't know.
I know he's driving for Sam Hunt or something, right?
Corey Heim, he does not have a full guaranteed ride for next season.
Interesting.
Boy, if I could beat the shit out of Ty and Joe Gibbs, I was so good for that one.
I think he's got a full schedule, but he does not have a full guaranteed ride.
Right. So he's got the full schedule, but with multiple teams, you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah. And none of them Joe Gibbs, of course, but that's neither here nor there. He will find a way to impress throughout, and then Ty Gibbs gets his nightmare after delaying it by 3 to 4 years of Corey Heim in the Cup Series competing at 2311. And boy, oh boy, am I excited for that. Because I think the one thing is there's a lot of arguments that happen in ARCA. Very seldom do they leave ARCA. Like, I feel like you just kind of grow up as a human being and just don't let that. But Corey Heim has been held back, has lost 2 to 3 years of his career growth because of Ty and Joe Gibbs. Boy, I hope he makes that their problem. I don't know. There's, you would think there'd be more to it, but we'll see. And then in the 35, I neglected to put. Oh no, I did actually put Riley Herbst in 35. I didn't forget about him this time. I think I said it. I think I said it before the show. Denny Hamlin's throwing a lot of money, maybe necessarily money he doesn't have at stuff. And I think he needs to keep that money rolling in. And by doing so, he gets Riley Herbst in that Monster Energy sponsorship, which did you guys see that really weird promo they did with Riley Herbst where he is just like the worst actor this side of the Mississippi? Kurt Busch had a cameo and he wasn't, an outstanding actor, but like just Riley Herbst doing any sort of acting, just, ugh. But yeah.
So I actually have Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick staying the same. And to your point, I do think they need more money. Another way to do that is to win. And I got Corey Heim replacing Riley Herbst in the 35. He's going to give them the best chance at road courses. He's dominated the Truck Series. He's a good road course driver. He's good at the ovals as well. He's going to up that finish. If you up that average finish and finish better in the points, you're going to get more money as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick both staying. I mean, they put together solid seasons. Wallace obviously winning the Brickyard 400 and showed a lot of potential. And Reddick's eventually going to get back to victory lane. I'm not giving up on him. But yeah, I got Corey Heim replacing Riley Herbst in the number 35. I mean, it's about time to put this guy in a full-time Cup ride. I mean, he's proved it for years. I mean, he's a true competitor. He's coming off a legendary Truck Series season, putting together 12 wins and ultimately winning the title. So yeah, I feel like 2027 it's going to be Heim time at 2311.
Yeah, Bull. If it were based on that, there's a lot of driver based on where you finished money. There'd be a lot better drivers in the Cup Series, but unfortunately, that's not what makes the world go around. Is good finishes. So. Yeah, that leads us to Penske is the next one. So this is where I get my big reveal of Tyler Reddick in the 2 car. I said it as a random statement back in the day, and I want to keep with it in this silly season prediction. I feel like it's kind of the right fit because you look at what Penske has done in the past of Joey Logano, a guy who kind of was obviously pushed to the side by Joe Gibbs. And then Brad Keselowski, a guy who was pushed to the side by Hendrick. Reddick's a guy who necessarily hasn't been pushed to the side, but hasn't been able to get that top tier equipment yet. 2311 is up there. Don't get me wrong. However, I just don't view them as a Hendrick or a Penske. And I think Penske sees talent that Austin Cindric doesn't have in Tyler Reddick. And I think he will do what he can to bring Reddick over to the 2 car, pairing him up with Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano.
All right.
So I've got Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney staying the same. Obviously, I moved Cindric. We talked about that earlier. Colton's not going to like this one either. I've got Carson Kvapil moving into the 2 to replace Austin Cindric. There's already been rumors of that swirling.
Really?
Yeah. So that's kind of
forums you're on with Josh, but good Lord.
Hey, Ben even agrees with it.
He does.
If it was just Josh, I would have thought it was the dark web. So yeah, that's kind of where I got that from. So I have Carson Kvapil, Ryan Blaney, and Joey Logano.
I have nothing against Carson Kvapil. I think Carson Kvapil is an incredibly talented driver. I don't see how you can't piece together a full Xfinity season and then magically get the 2 car at Penske. That just doesn't add up to me at all, personally, if that is an actual rumor.
So it's not – neither one of them has actually confirmed it, but it might be one of those things that it's done, but it's not done.
Huh. I don't know. That's just weird to me. You can't get a full season at Junior Motorsports and Xfinity, and then you land into the 2 car. He's a talented driver that I think is going to be great. Like I have nothing against Carson Kvapil. I hope nothing but the best for him. Maybe a little early, but I mean everyone I guess at this point gets upgraded a little early. So yeah. So I got Reddick, you got Kvapil. Ben, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I got Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. I feel like those guys are going to be staying. I mean, Logano's he's won every single year ever since he got to Team Penske. And yeah, I feel like he's got that 22 ride locked down. And Blaney, he's obviously going to continue the relationship with Team Penske. I mean, just coming up, he's had a lot of success. I mean, he's one of the most consistent drivers in the field. And of course, he won the championship, and he's always going to be a championship threat in years to come. And I'm not going to lie to you guys about this Cindric situation. I mean, I was going back and forth if it's going to be Cindric or Carson Kvapil. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but in a way, I think I'm going to give the edge to Austin Cindric. I mean, in a way, I did see flashes from him on the intermediate track. Yeah. Obviously, you guys know, but I mean, that's just my opinion. I feel like he's shown flashes at the intermediate tracks. I mean, he's the best super speedway racer in the Cup Series today, in my opinion. I mean, nobody puts themselves in position to win at the end of these races better than Austin Cindric. And in a way, I feel like that's going to help him try to keep his ride at Penske. And he's going to continue to be the best super speedway racer. But I feel like Penske, they're gonna stay the same. I feel like obviously Tim Cindric's not there, but in a way, Penske they definitely like Cindric for sure. All right, what's going on?
I don't want to reopen this can of worms because we could just go on. I could go on another 5-minute rant, so I'm not going to. But the one thing I will say, and that even if Austin Cindric does really good next season, I question with the way that Tim Cindric got, he got like fired, right? Like I don't think it was on good terms. Is my point. Whatever happened was not on good terms because he was cheating in the IndyCar series. Of course, Penske owns that sport, so it's also kind of just, I don't know. How that ended leads me to believe that I feel like Cindric just kind of out regardless of how he performs. But that might not be the case. Maybe Penske isn't petty guy.
I just want somebody to talk about me like Ben talks about Austin Cindric and Rick Ware Racing.
I wish somebody saw the hope in me that Ben the unwavering faith that Ben has in Austin Cindric. I wish somebody had that in me. I mean, I don't disagree that he's the best super speedway driver, but he's also just a below average at every other. But we don't need to open that can of worms.
I mean, regardless if he wins, they're going to keep him.
Wood Brothers Racing, I have Austin Cindric because I just kind of feel like he's gonna stick in the Cup Series, and I couldn't really put him anywhere else but front row maybe. I thought Rick Ware Racing as well. For whatever reason, I just think Wood Brothers is like, yeah, we'll take your leftovers, Penske. I don't know. Josh Berry could also end up just keeping this ride, but yeah, I don't know. It could really just go either way. I went with Cindric because typically I want Josh Berry to keep that ride, but it tends to not go the way I want it to go. So I just figure Cindric will get the 21. So
I thought about that, but I thought if Penske got rid of Cindric, he wouldn't go to Rick, or he wouldn't go to Wood Brothers just because they're so connected with Penske, and he would want a fresh start with a completely different team. Probably. So I actually have Josh Berry staying with Wood Brothers, and I can see that staying for a while. He just seems like a guy that fits in that Wood Brothers culture, the hardworking, knows how to work on his own car. That's how he came up. So I can see him staying with Wood Brothers for a while.
Yeah, I think Josh Berry, he's going to continue to drive the 21 car for Wood Brothers Racing. I mean, obviously it was a breakout year. I feel like he's put together solid runs on the track. I mean, some of the results he obviously didn't get, but he has shown speed and showed a lot of potential. And I feel like in years to come, he's going to continue that relationship with the Wood Brothers. And I don't see Berry leaving the 21 anytime soon.
All right, you guys kind of talked me into it because I was really on the fence on this one. I am going to go retroactively switch to Josh Berry sticking the 21. I don't know what that means for Cindric. I really don't see how when you got Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, all these free agents, even Carson Hocevar, I don't see how you have those free agents. You're like, oh yeah, let's keep Austin Cindric because he's good at super speedways. I just don't see how you can justify that, but I'm not the one running these teams, so I can't comment on that. So that leads us to JGR and then Hendrick Motorsports are the last two we got on the docket. Not too much changes unless you see Denny Hamlin moving. Of course, we have Alex Bowman out, so you can probably do the math on who I have in the 48, but we aren't there yet. Let's start with Joe Gibbs Racing. I got Briscoe staying in the 19, Bell staying in the 20, Gibbs staying in the 54, and I have Denny Hamlin staying. That means I don't see him winning a championship next year, but I mean, kind of one of those things, like I just got to see it to believe it. We almost saw it, but I just kind of got to see it to believe it. It's not something I want to go out of my way to predict. So I think he at least finishes out his multi-year deal through 2027.
I agree with you. I got JGR remaining exactly the same.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I got JGR remaining the same with all four drivers. I mean, just based on the season they had this past year, I don't see any reason why you should make any changes. But that's I'm still riding with JGR, same four drivers.
All right, and then last but not least, Hendrick Motorsports. I have Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron staying the same. Well, I think Alex Bowman is an incredibly talented driver. I think the best thing that could happen to him is getting kicked out of the 48 ride, and I think Carson Hocevar will slot in that 48 car. And the reason I think so is because Jeff Gordon is already in that man's DMs. He was texting him in the Rising show. He was gushing about him on the Coke 600 race. It just seems like a match made in heaven. Kosovar is a really talented driver, and his honestly drive to win, I think, is unlike any other driver in the Cup Series. I mean, we've had looks into other people's. Nobody has talked about the sport of NASCAR with as much love, admiration, and as much dedication as Carson Hocevar. The others, this is just a game. To Carson Hocevar, this is life, if you ask me. And I think him in the 48 car would be an absolutely scary thing so long as, Jeff just gets rid of his levers, probably puts it on Chase. Chase gets all the buttons and levers now. But yeah, I think Hocevar doesn't even care about he'll DNF 8 times a year, but he'll win 4 to 6 races a year in the 48. I don't know. That's a very harsh, very very extreme, but I think that's happening. I think it's maybe even almost a done deal. With which is weird to say because Bowman can absolutely prove us wrong and turn it around if Hendrick gives him the chance. But I just don't see Hendrick giving him the chance, and I see them moving on to Carson Hocevar, which again I think might just be another great move for Bowman if he ends up being the flagship driver at Dodge.
I completely agree with you. I got Larson, Elliott, Byron, and Hocevar in the 48. I agree with you. I think it's a done deal. It's happening no matter what. I think Bowman's time at Hendrick is up. That Rising documentary even sold it a little more for me. Hocevar talking about Gordon texting him 2 minutes after the race, and then they even had a clip in there of Hocevar and Rick,
that too,
of Rick Hendrick talking after a race. Like it's almost like it's a match made in heaven for them. And I do think that Gordon matching with Hocevar, if anybody's going to be able to calm him down, I think he's got the talent. He just gets in over his head. And I think Gordon would be the perfect match to get him to kind of relax a little bit and be able to show his speed and use his skills, but not have so many DNF and piss so many people off.
I mean, that's something that I think he did with Larson. Like Larson obviously was at lesser equipment as well and came to Hendrick and had kind of those rough edges still, but you've seen those rough edges, very much clean off. Round off is the word I was looking for. And I don't know if you ever fully get that out of Hocevar the way he talks. Like if you talk to Kyle Larson at the same stage of his career as Carson Hocevar, I don't think he ever talked about that. He might talk about dirt racing that way. I don't know if you can ever fully get that out of Carson Hocevar, which is an interesting dynamic because, I mean, Kyle Busch was a driver that got kicked out by Hendrick because of kind of the way he drove in a similar fashion to that of Hocevar, but he didn't have the performance to go with it. Well, he did, but not to the fullest extent. I don't know. That's a whole nother story for another day, but I don't think you can fully just clean off the edges with Hocevar. I think he's always going to have that fight. He's always going to just drive like a maniac. But I do agree if anybody's going to find a way, it's going to be Jeff Gordon for sure.
Yep. All right. So my Hendrick lineup, I actually have it all the same, guys. I mean, I got Elliott, Byron, Larson, and Alex Bowman. I know I said I in the Spire section, I think that Hocevar was going to say at Spire, though. But in a way, I was going 50-50 on who was going to get that ride, who's going to get the 48 in 2027. But even though I did say Bowman, I definitely see there is potential that Carson Hocevar might take over that ride. But in a way, I feel like Bowman might get an extension. Maybe I'm talking crazy. But, yeah, I feel like that he's a better driver than what people what people think. Sorry, words are hard right now, but I mean, he dealt with a lot of bad luck in 2025. I mean, he's better than what the results show, in my opinion, and I feel like in a way he definitely deserves to be at Hendrick Motorsports. But I feel like he's got the talent. He just needs to not have so many bad races, and I feel like he can definitely be a contender for sure. And but yeah, I definitely feel like in a way he might get back to victory lane next year, and who knows, that might help him get an extension with Hendrick for maybe another year or two. But yeah, we'll see what happens down the road. But yeah, as of right now, I'm still riding with all 4 Hendrick guys.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those deals that Bowman can control his own destiny, assuming we don't have the same issue of pit road issues anytime he has a good run, or engine expiring anytime he has a good run. If that just continues, then I think Hendrick just goes ahead and kicks him out. But if he doesn't have those issues like he had last year, I mean, he had stats comparable to Byron going into the big playoff fall off. So outside of the wins, so I think it's just something that it's really hard to compete when you just have your team working against you. So yeah, it comes down to Bowman. If he is able to perform, then I do think he keeps that 48. I think eventually Hocevar gets the 48 ride, but I think Bowman can delay that by a year or two. But he's got to win multiple races. He's got to look like a championship threat and live up to that hype.
But one other thing is, who says that Bowman doesn't want to change? You mentioned all this bad luck that he's –
great point.
It's almost like his team's rooting against him, and he has the talent. Why wouldn't he want to be a flagship driver for – it might be a smaller team, but we've talked about Kaulig going to Dodge. They're going to put all that money, all that funding into a flagship driver. Why not let Bowman be that and let him show off his talent? He may want the change instead of being
a great point.
Instead of being the number 4 car.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. It's kind of something similar to, not really similar. It's kind of a different comparison, but I think of like Kurt Busch when he left Stewart Haas the year of 2018, like their peak year. He went to Chip Ganassi Racing, I guess just because of he saw what was going on at Stewart Haas, or like it just kind of moves like that people will say that's kind of a lateral move, and then ends up working out in the end for him. So I think it would just be the best for all parties if that were to happen. If Bowman were to get that flagship driver for Dodge and Hocevar were able to slot in, I think that would just be the best for all parties. Jeff Gordon doesn't have to actively root against a driver anymore. And to be clear, Jeff Gordon has actually said multiple times that they need to like figure it out with Bowman and like do right by him. A lot easier to say, harder to do with how they've been treating him the last couple of years. But hopefully he's right about that. Hopefully this all cleans up. But yeah, I would love to have a deep talk about Bowman, because you look at the stats and it's so overdrawn how people disrespect him. He's better than Casey Kane was as the 4th driver. Casey Kane was a lot older, was at a worse part of his career. Regardless, Bowman has better stats. And like I said, I think him and Reddick's stats aren't really that far off. Of course, Reddick started out at RCR, so there's some differences there. But that's that. Any other comments? I thought about Junior Motorsports a little bit, but I think it's one of those, I'll believe it when I see it, them jumping to the Cup Series full time. I think there's got to be some outside investment for that to happen. And I just don't see it happening within the next couple of years. So hopefully I'm wrong, but it's something I'll hold my breath on.
Yeah, Junior's even admitted he doesn't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
I did hear that too.
Which is just like a whole nother conversation we could have about the entry to NASCAR and the barriers to entering NASCAR more specifically. But I'm sure at some point in the podcast we'll have that day. I mean, especially with all the talk going on about NASCAR. We know of the texts. There are so many we could not compile them into a video. Those aren't all I can say is that those aren't even the ones that are making it to court. Those are just the propaganda that's being spewed
And that's
out
what's
there.
nuts.
That's what's crazy. The court date is coming up ever so closely, December 1st. So we will probably try to plan a podcast for that day. It'll be a little tough. We got some planning, but we will definitely have a podcast on that topic as soon as we possibly can. So that'll be the next time you can expect a podcast out of us is after the court date. So we will definitely work with that, and it's going to be fun. Probably not fun's not the right word. It's going to be a ride. That's for sure. It's going to be a fun ride. But yeah. Anything else though you guys wanted to mention about off seasons and whatnot, or just anything you want to get off your chest?
If you haven't seen it, Colton's been making some YouTube Shorts videos that making clips from the podcast. Pretty good. Go check those out.
Yeah, they're definitely good for sure.
Yeah, if you want the lore behind our Austin Hendrick debacle, feel free to go to there. That was the first one I made.
But yeah, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up this show. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below your guys' thoughts. What are your 2027 silly season predictions? Feel free to just drop all the moves that you think are happening or your full roster in the comment sections. We'll leave a comment and let you know what we think, and let us know where we're wrong, totally wrong on. Do you think, host of ours got a couple of years before he's in the 48, or he's too crazy to be in the 48, or what do you think? Let us know down below in the comments. We'd love to hear it. And follow me on Twitter at LFC__99, Bull at Bull_81818, and Ben at Ben Miller PXP. We will see you guys in the next one. Peace.